What's going on, y'all? It's Gum Gum TCG back again with another video. And today we have the Underdog Series episode 2. That's right, we're going to be taking another rogue deck to locals today, and this one's a lot more rogue than Kuzan, let me tell you. This deck used to be the top meta threat earlier this year. This deck was hated by everybody and their mother, and I tell you, I love this deck. I loved playing it. I loved summoning 2 child Luffys and Sabos, or double Sabos, or aces from my trash with Moria, making myself a 9k leader. That's right, we're playing black, yellow Luffy. This deck just got some awesome support in PRB with the new 5-cost ace, and you know, I have to test it out. This was one of my favorite decks earlier this year, and I really am sad that it's, well, wasn't super playable until PRB came out. And now that PRB's out, man, this new ace really helps the deck a lot. Is it at its prime? Is it still as good as it was with Moria and Ice Age? No, of course not, but it is still a super fun deck to pilot. I'm super excited about this. I'm really happy that I get to play one of my favorite leaders again, and it not be just absolute dog water. It can actually put up a little bit of a fight now. So let's go ahead and jump on into that deck list. And don't forget, if you like this kind of content, make sure to hit this with a like, hit it with a subscribe, and if you don't have it turned on, turn that bell on. If you don't know, it really helps content creators out. So let's go ahead and jump into the deck list, and I will show you what we're playing today. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and take a look at this deck list. So I'm going to go over these cards because they haven't really been played too much since the ban list earlier this year, unless you're playing Red Yellow Sabo or Blue Yellow Ace. Both of those decks are fun, and maybe we should check those out in another video too. Also, if you have any suggestions for this series or leaders that you want to see, maybe some of your favorite leaders or things that you think are rogue or better than other people think, let me know in the comments below, and I will try them out at my locals. I'll take them on an episode of the Underdog Series. Let's do it. All right, y'all. So of course we have the Monkey D. Luffy leader himself, and then I have my 10 Dawn. I'll go ahead and show you. I've got the Sword Championship, or no, the something championship. I don't know what this is. The second anniversary championship, I think. Luffy for my leader here. I have the one from the starter deck and the alt one from the starter deck, but I really like this one. I think it looks really nice. I like all the color on it. And then I'm using the Hody Jones Dawn from PRB1. I love how this stuff looks. It's got this sick foil texture, but that's not what you're here for. You're here for the cards and the deck list. So let's go ahead and go over this leader. If you don't know what this leader does, it's a 4-life black and yellow leader, and it says that if you have face-up life cards and take a life or take damage, they go to the bottom of your deck instead of your hand. So you don't trigger anything if you have face-up life cards, and you don't get them to your hand. So that's a little interesting, but the cool part is the effect. If you put 2 Dawn on him, you can trash a card from your hand once per turn, and you can put 2 5-cost bodies from your hand or trash into your life face up. So when this leader first got revealed, I was like, I don't understand that. That sounds ass. That sounds awful. And then people really started to put the pieces of the puzzle together and kind of figure out what to do with this leader, and it's really nasty, or it was. If you don't know what I'm talking about, earlier this year, this deck was, well, it won Nationals earlier this year. Cross actually won Nationals playing this leader, and Gecko Moria and Ice Age were big enablers in this deck to let you KO really high cost bodies with your Egghead Luffy, and then also be able to make yourself a big 9,000 power leader every turn. And you might be wondering, how do you make yourself a big 9,000 power leader? Well, let's dive into the deck list and I will show you. So first off, we have 4 copies of Monkey D. Garp. Now, Garp is a searcher, and actually we get a new Garp searcher in OP13, and it's just like this one. It is a 1 cost, and you look at the top 5 cards of your deck, and this one you add any Luffy, Ace, or Sabo. I think the other one is, if your leader is Luffy, Ace, or Sabo, you can add any card with a certain cost. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's what it does. I'll throw it up on the screen here. But this card grabs you any Luffy, Ace, or Sabo from your deck. Really essential to the game plan of this deck because, well, you're playing a whole bunch of Luffy, Aces, and Sabos. Next, we have Charlotte Flampe. This card used to be for when people would starve you, and people still try to starve you with this deck, but just being able to take a life and draw a card is really strong. It's also a really great 2K. Not so often that I'm using it to take my own life anymore. And I do want to preface, before we get into the video, I have not tested this deck a whole lot since back in the day, so cut me some slack if I make any misplays. But I do love this deck, and a new change, a new addition is the OP11 Zeus. This card's a great 2K, being able to take a life and pop a 5 cost or less. In this deck, you really don't care about taking your life. You know, you want to get down low, kind of quickly so that you can start to play your little guys and boost yourself up. But you have to play a little bit more defensive nowadays than you did in the past. We have another 2K here in Hiyori, also 4 copies of it. This one lets you take a card from the top or bottom of your life and then put one from your hand there instead. So being able to set yourself up, and I will show you why. So we are playing 4 copies of Luffy, 4 copies of Sabo, and 4 copies of Ace. And I'm going to show you all of them just like that because they all have the same effect relative to their name. So they all say that you can activate main, trash this character, reveal the top card of your life, and it is, if it is in this instance, Ace, play that character, and then your leader gains a 2,000 boost until your next turn. So for Ace, if you reveal an Ace, you get to play the Ace from your life. Sabo, you get to reveal a Sabo. If it's a Sabo, you get to play it from your life and gain 2,000. And same for a Luffy. I guess I mixed those up a little bit there. You got a Sabo with the Luffys. But essentially the game plan is to get to low life and then use your leader effect, trashing something from your hand to then put the other bodies into your life. Then you play a little guy and then you get to boost your leader up for an extra turn while establishing a body, all for 2 Dawn. I guess 4 technically if you count the leader, but you're still paying less than 1 than you would for these 5 cost bodies. All these bodies are 5 cost. And on top of that, you're getting to be 7K, sometimes 9K. Back in the day, you would do Moria and summon 2 babies from your trash, and that would make you a 9K leader for a whole extra turn. Let's go ahead and move into the 5 cost bodies. So next we're on 2 copies of the Egghead Luffy. This card is great, or was great when we had Ice Age around. Now it's just not as good because you can't pop a 9 cost with it, which was a little outrageous at the time, but now you only get to pop 4 costs. We're not playing any cost reduction in this deck. Older versions of this deck definitely played cost reduction. You played 4 cost Kuzan, you played Ice Age. I'm sure you could throw in Tempest Kicks if you really, really wanted to, but this Luffy, if you can trash it, and if you have 2 or less life cards, you get to pop a 4 or less and then draw a card. It also has a trigger to pop a 4 or less, so pretty good card all around, especially if you're playing against something mid-range that plays a lot of lower bodies. Really, really good to help you control. Next, we're on this one. This is people call Punch Luffy. It is a 5/6, and on your turn, you can give it a 2,000 boost, and if you have any life cards, you trash the top one and draw a card. So it becomes an 8K, you trash a life and draw a card. Really helps you get away from that starve if that's what your opponent's doing, is they're playing the starve game and not trying to hit your leader so that you can't play the bodies into your life. This really helps you control that, and once you start playing bodies into your life, this helps you control what bodies are in there. So if you have one on the top that you don't like or you want to get rid of, but you like the one on the bottom, or say you only have 1 in life and you want 0, you can use this to get rid of it and draw a card. Helps you replenish your hand. So does the other Luffy. Next, we're on 2 of this new 5 cost Sabo from OP12. This one's actually really interesting. It says if you have 3 or less life cards, this card gains 3 cost and becomes a blocker. And on play, you can take the top card of your life to your hand to draw 2 and trash 1. So it really draws you a bunch of cards and it becomes a big blocker, so it's hard to remove. Really, really good Sabo card, really good blocker. Speaking of really good Sabo card and really good blocker, 5 cost Sabo. He's been a menace for a really long time and will continue to be for a while. He is a manga, so he will not get rotated out. And it's for good reason. This card's really good, especially in this deck. So like I said, you used to play Moria and bring back 2 bodies and play those bodies out of your life. And typically it would be double Sabo on a lot of turns. And you would get to establish 2 big bodies that prevent removal. And you get to filter 4 cards out of your hand and be 9,000 power. It was ridiculous. And you can still sometimes do that with this, but it is a lot more restricted now that we don't have a double summon from trash. But yeah, being a blocker that draws you 2, trashes 2, and prevents destruction, Sabo's a great card, especially one that you like to play out of life. Next, we're on 2 of the 5 cost 7K Rush Aces. If you have 2 or less life cards, this card gains Rush. Really good if you need it, and sometimes it's just a good play, you know, just play it and start rushing. And then finally, we are on the new card. This is why I wanted to play this and the Sabo, but mainly this Ace. This Ace really helps take the deck up from being semi-unplayable to something that feels like it actually can play. And what this Ace does is on play, if you have a face-up life card, you could play a Luffy, Sabo, or Ace with the cost of 2 or less from your hand or trash. So you get to place the bodies in your life, play this Ace, and then you get to play from your hand or trash the respective body that goes with it, and then summon again. So for 5 Dawn, you're getting 10 Dawn worth of play and becoming a 7k leader. This is really, really nasty if you can set it up like a turn before. You play this out of life with a little ace, which then this ace grabs the respective baby to play your next card out of life, and then you also get to use your leader effect to put 2 more in your life and become 9k with 2 face-up life cards, and you just establish 2 bodies for essentially 2 Dawn. Really, really, really strong. And it just takes the right setup, and I feel that it can be hard to get there sometimes, but it is possible. It can also help you become an 11k leader if you want. And then finally, we are on 4 copies of the Three Brothers Bond. This is just the same thing as Garp, but in an event form, so you search for a Luffy, Sabo, or Ace, and it also has a trigger to do the same. But this deck is a lot of 4-ofs. We're only on 2 of the Rush Ace, 2 of the Blocker Sabo, the new one from OB12, and then 2 of the Pop Luffy, just because we don't get the pop as much as we used to. But this deck is a lot of fun, and I'm ready to show you some games for my locals. So let's go ahead and pack this up and get to playing. Alrighty, y'all, let's go ahead and get into this first game. We are playing against Green Zoro. I'm going to roll my dice, and I rolled an 8 to his 8. So we're going to roll again, and I rolled an 8 to his 3. I get to choose if I want to go first or second. I'm going to go second. This deck definitely likes the even curve just a little bit more. Those little baby Luffy, Ace, and Sabos being 2s, and some of our other cards being 2s, and it just helps being on the second curve, in my opinion. Also, that extra draw really helps, and yeah, I did not like my hand that much. You saw it there. It was not optimal. I had no searching power. I had a couple 2Ks. It just didn't feel great. So I'm going to give it a couple more shuffles and hand it back over to him. Let him get a cut. And here we go. We got to keep this hand. So let's go ahead and deal ourselves a hand and some life. This hand is looking okay. We have 3 babies, a Searcher, and a Zeus. That Sabo helps a lot, though. So we're going to search top 5, and well, the only thing we can take is a 5-cost Sabo blocker. So we end up taking that. We have 2 in our hand. That's not bad. But against Zoro, them just being able to rest it with Tashigi feels really bad. So the cycle will be helpful, and he goes ahead and swings for 6 after playing that Koshiro. I take it, and you know, I'm thinking about what I want to do. I've got a Garp that I drew, and I'm going to get searching. I'm going to take that Egghead Luffy. Not too many things to pop in his deck, but I did want a Luffy where I do have the baby Luffy in my hand, and I could not find the Punch Luffy. So we go ahead and take that Egghead Luffy, and I do have that new Ace in my hand as well. I believe I got that out of life, and that card is a sweet addition to this deck's lineup. Like I talked about it in the deck list, this card is really, really good. So let's go ahead and see what he's doing. He's playing Tashigi. He's just going to rest that Garp. He's going to swing at a Garp for 8, and yep, I'm going to let that go. Not going to counter out of that 8k swing on the 2k body, and then he's going to swing 8 at me. I'm just going to take it, and maybe I should have given him some counter there. It just would have been like 3 cards out of hand instead of 2. Do want to be a little bit more defensive with this list now than we were in the past. I did find the Punch Luffy. I swung at him for 6. He countered, but being able to play that body, really, really good. Need it for later in the game, and helping clear the life, helping have a big body. But like I said, it's just scary putting 5-cost bodies down on the field when Tashigi is one of Zoro's best and most played cards. So hoping that he doesn't have another one, but he ends up playing out the 4-cost Zoro, which I can't remember exactly what this does, but I'm pretty sure it gives himself a cost or can't be rested, something like that. I end up having to read it, and just wanted to make sure I could KO it, basically. He swings at me for 5. He didn't do anything crazy that turn. I was really more worried about him chaining Tashigi, so when he didn't do that, I was feeling pretty okay. So trying to think about what I want to do here, and my main thought is using that Egghead Luffy to get rid of one of his bodies. Like I said, I want to pick up this Zoro and read it. I wasn't exactly sure what it did, so just wanted to make sure I could read it and could KO it. So like I said, I'm really thinking about doing that, and yeah, I'm going to go ahead and play out Hiyori so that I can put the Egghead into my life, because going up to 7k is going to be very helpful. So I'm going to play the Luffy, use the Luffy, bring out the Egghead, get the boost, and I'm going to use it and KO the Zoro. You know, I really just don't want him having another swing next turn. That's the main thing. I don't really care about the Koshiros. He's going to use them eventually. So I end up trashing my life with the Punch Luffy, putting 2 on my leader so that I can then prepare myself by placing some bodies in my life. And I place the Ace, and I put the Luffy in there as well. And I'm debating on if I want to play that Ace or not, and I decide not to. I'm just going to swing 9 at him, and then I'm going to swing a 10 at him. And he just uses both Koshiros, which is what I figured he'd do, but just getting them off the field now is going to be really helpful. You know, I don't want him playing a Mihawk while also having 2 or 3 other small blockers on field. That's when it really becomes a problem. I do have a bunch of cards in hand. I am a 7K leader. I do want to try and defend next turn if he's going to come after me, because I want that Ace. I want to be able to play that Ace and then play the Luffy beneath it for free. All for 2 Dawn. That would be insane. So that's kind of the goal that I have set up here. He's going to put 4 on his leader. So that tells me already that he's just going big this turn. He's just going to do some big swinging. And he's going to swing 9 at my Punch Luffy. And I don't really want to give it to him, so I'm going to give him a 2K. He's going to restand, and then he's going to swing 9 at me. And I'm thinking, well, I have another Ace in my hand. I don't have to keep that one there. It would have been nice to get to use it for 2 Dawn, but not the biggest problem. You know, I can play the other one, hard cast it from my hand. So then he's just going to swing at me for 7 with the Tashigi. I give him 1K. He's going to follow it up with the new 2K Zoro from PRB, actually. This card's really, really good. And he left a Dawn open as well. So coming back to my turn, to refresh my stuff, draw, and I think my turn is pretty straightforward. I'm going to play this Ace. At least I'm thinking about it. But yep, I'm going to play this Ace, and then the Ace lets me bring back a baby from my hand or trash. So I'm going to play the Luffy. Luffy, bring out the Luffy from my life. And now I'm a 7K. I'm going to pop the Zoro blocker, draw a card, and I think we're sitting pretty. I use the Luffy boost just to get to 8K, just so that I have it. I'm going to search with the Three Brothers Bond. Trying to find something. I believe it was that little Sabo is what I was looking for. I hadn't found one yet, and I have multiple blocker Sabos, so wanting to be able to put some on the field is going to be my goal this turn, and I'm going to achieve it. You know, I've got the little Sabo. I have 2 Dawn left. I'm going to put it in life with the Egghead Luffy again, just in case he wants to play down another pesky blocker next turn. And well, I thought I was going to play the Sabo blocker, but I guess I decided not to this turn. I don't really know why I decided not to, knowing that he probably was going to go for a Mihawk play next turn. But I've eaten his hand down really bad here. He's only got 4 cards in hand now, but he still has all of his life. I'm building a board. So that's kind of my goal, is to be able to build this board and get as many cards out of his hand early. So he's thinking about what he wants to do, and I was right. I probably should have just played the Sabo out. It would have helped me, and he just plays that Mihawk, gets that 4 Dawn back. The card's really, really crazy. I do think if you don't have a playset of Mihawk, you should get it. It's just insane for any deck. And then he's going to go 7 at my, or 8 at my Punch Luffy. I do give him 1K, and then he's gonna go at me, and I'm like, you know, I have 3 other Sabos. I'm just gonna put it underneath of the of my deck, and now he's going 8 at me again, and I'm thinking about what I have in my trash. If I could just get this life to go away, but I don't really want to. You know, I'd like to keep my Egghead Luffy in rotation. It's the only one I have in my rotation right now. So I end up giving him 2 1s, a baby and a big Sabo. So, yep, he passes, and now I got to think about my turn. This deck really requires a lot of proper sequencing now. I left that Egghead Luffy in my life, but what I don't have is a little Sabo, but I do have the new Ace. The new Ace is going to save me here, and I swung at him for 7. He went ahead and took it because he only had 2 cards in hand. He didn't want to just pitch everything. So thinking about how I want to order the rest of this, because, well, like I said, it gets tricky. I've got 1 face-up life. I only have, I believe, a little Ace in my hand. And I'm trying to figure out how I want to do this and remain with some life. Oh, no, I think I have a little Luffy.
because I want to end my turn with at least 1 or 2 life because of the Luffy is the King event. That card is very scary. So I'm going to use the Luffy to bring out the Egghead Luffy, get that boost, and then I'm just going to use it to draw a card. I want extra cards in hand. I haven't seen too many 2Ks, so getting some would be nice. And then I am going to use my leader effect. I'm just trying to think about what to pitch. When you get down low in cards, that's when I notice this deck gets a little bit harder to pilot, knowing exactly what to pitch. Because, well, you only have a limited amount of babies and stuff. With Moria running around, you had like 4 extra copies of each of them. But now, with Ace, it's like having 1 or 2 extra copies of each, which is nice, but you still have to think about it correctly. So I do end up playing that other ace. I'm going to play the Sabo out of my trash, play that one out of my life, go up to 9k, and then I get to draw 2 and trash 2. Getting some more 2Ks in my hand is going to be very helpful, but I am down to only 2 cards in hand, which is just not where I wanted to be. And I also forgot to use my Punch Luffy effect earlier this turn, so now he was only a 6k, but he took the hit anyway. The problem is going to arise next turn when I have a 6k body on my field, and Zoro likes to swing 8s. So I can either end up giving him both cards in my hand or let the Punch Luffy die. So unfortunately, like I said, you got to think about everything in this deck, and that is a big misplay on my part, because if it was 8k, then I would only have to give him the 1 card, and like I said, you'll see that he's going to add another one of the Luffy is going to be King of the Pirate events here, just because, well, what does Zoro do best? Swing big, and that's what he's going to end up doing this turn. He's going to swing really, really big at me, really tall. He's got 5 on his leader. He's going to go 10 at my Punch Luffy. And unfortunately, like I said, I did not use that effect, so it is only a 6k. And if it was an 8, I could give him the Sabo here. And then if he ended up wanting to swing at it again, I could give him one of the cards in my hand or both the cards in my hand. But unfortunately, I am in the predicament where I pretty much just have to let this go. I can't save this, or I'm going to be getting rid of a blocker and both cards in my hand. Then my leader's offline, and it just becomes a bad predicament. He's going to go 10 at my face, and again, unfortunately, well, I am 9, so I can give him a 2k, but going down to 1 in this deck just feels really, really bad, because it makes it really hard to use your leader effect consistently and stay in a range of being able to counter. He's going to follow it up with a Koshiro, and it's going to be it. He was going to use the King of the Pirates event, I believe, but where I did not end up taking or giving him the blocker, he was like, well, he's just going to block, and then he could set the Sabo up again. And yeah, now I only have 2 cards in hand. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do, and it's really just swing time. You know, I got to swing taller than that Mihawk, or at least equal to it, so I'm going to get 8 at his face just to get that Koshiro out the way. I would have liked to be able to play that Luffy out of my life just to pop the Koshiro. That would have been really, really convenient, but we are not goated like that every single time. I cannot remember or see what the other card in my hand is because I'm frantically flicking it, but it appears to be a Sabo, a baby Sabo, and now I'm also stuck with this Egghead Luffy here, whereas if I had the Punch Luffy on field, I could clear it out of my life and I would be a little bit better position. So I'm just trying to go for some extra damage here. I swing 10 at him and he counters out of it. So now I realize, oh, okay, I can't kill him this turn. Well, I might as well just swing super tall, so he either has to give me the Mihawk or he's taking that life. And he's going to take the life. There's no reason to give me the Mihawk there. He's not dying, so there's no reason for it. I guess if he gave me the Mihawk and I swung with Sabo and he had no counter, no, he would just go down to 0 life. Like, there was no reason to give the Mihawk up. So he's thinking about his turn, and again, with Zoro, it really is just best to go tall. He's going to go, I believe that's 5, so he's going 10 at the ace, and I let him have it, and then he's going to go 10 at my face, and I'm thinking about how I want to do it. I'm going to give him the Sabo. He's going to use 3 for Luffy as the king. He's going to swing 10 at my face again. I give him the Egghead, and then he goes 10 for game with Mihawk. I did not have the counter in hand. I was not boosted up, so I was only a 5k leader. We couldn't get there. Just talking about this ace and how good it is, but also how hard it is to use sometimes. And it was a really good game. You know, against Zoro, those resting events, and the Tashigis, and the restand event is really devastating against my leader. Just being able to swing at me multiple times and for big numbers is what the problem is. But really good game. Let's go ahead and wrap this up and jump into the next game. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and get into this second game. It's going to be against my brother, and he is on the Zoro Sanji, blue-green. I actually had a lot of fun with this deck earlier this year when the Warlord stuff was out and Jinbei was still legal. This deck was a hell of a lot of fun to play. You can really do a lot of fun stuff with this leader. There's almost infinite possibilities, just feeling like it's such a generic leader. And as you can see, he won the die roll there, and he is going to choose to go second, just taking that curve away from me and getting him some extra cards. He did not like his hand. I don't think he had an attacking body, and I also did not like mine. I didn't get to show it to you there, but it was not exactly what we were looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and shuffle it back in and see if we can't get something a little bit better. This deck is kind of scary to go against. I don't know why I'm getting pit against the green decks that get to swing multiple times today, but I guess that's just the fate I get for bringing this deck that people seem to hate for some reason. There's my hand. It's not too bad. I just don't have any searchers, but it does feel like I have quite a bit of bodies and presence to be able to use. He attacks me for 5. I give him the 1k. I don't really want to take yet, not off of a 5k swing. And he plays the VV from EBO2. If you don't have this card, you should pick it up. It's a draw 2 and in a multicolored deck. Like, it's just such a strong card. I swing at him for 9 and he takes it. There's no reason not to. But especially in this deck, he gets to bounce it and swing more times. It's just so strong. He swings another 5 at me, which feels really bad. I take it. And then he plays Carrot. Now, you know, if I had a Zeus in hand, I would have immediately just slammed it on the table like a fucking windmill, but I did not have it, and that's the only card in my deck that can deal with that. And you'll see throughout this game that becomes a problem. I do find it, but I can't remember exactly what I end up doing, so I guess we'll see. But I do remember this Carrot being quite the problem for me during this game. So I end up swinging at him for 5 after playing the Sabo blocker and passing back to him. Like I said, just being able to attack twice with bodies, especially ones like Carrot that get to freeze things, like it's just so nasty. And getting to play cards twice like that VV, getting to draw 2 times out of them, that's what happened. That's why I didn't have a Zeus. He played Pudding. He got me for like fucking 3 or 4 cards here. It is kind of crazy, honestly. But, you know, that's how it goes sometimes. I'm going to draw my cards back up, and then he's going to attack me with Carrot. I am going to get to trigger here to search, and thinking about what I want to take. I'm going to take the Egghead Luffy, but again, like, he can bounce that Pudding. Yep, there it goes. Restand the Carrot, and it's so nasty, man. He swings at me again for 6. I take it. He does not put the Carrot sideways because he doesn't want me to have a way to swing into it and try to kill it. He could have swung at me for another 6k there, but I guess he just didn't want to. Yeah, I am going to play the Egghead Luffy, and I'm going to use it to pop that Koshiro. Draw me a card. I probably should have popped the VV just so that he couldn't get that back in hand, but end up swinging at him for 8 and passing back to him. I still have this blocker. Feeling okay. That Pudding did really hurt, and him still having it in his hand feels really bad to me. So I'm going to keep countering his attacks. I don't want him to get to a position where he can use it again. He swings another 6. I take it. He swings another 6, and I realize, like, this is probably his last swing this turn, unless he just balls out and plays Hody. But I have a blocker, and next turn I can set up and do some other stuff. But he just plays double blocker Marco, which is just crazy, because now no matter what I do, I'm giving him more cards in hand, and his hand is already looking pretty good. Well, it's a lot of 2Ks, as you can see, but that's good. He's got defense. I end up using my leader effect, pitching, putting the Egghead in life, and the new yellow Sabo. I end up playing the Ace, which was nice that I had. I get to play the Luffy out for just the 5, become a 7k, and now I have this Egghead Luffy, and I'm going to Garp search as well. I'm really looking for something here. I find the Punch Luffy, which is really, really good. And I'm trying to decide what I want to do. I am going to KO one of the Marcos, which gives him that draw 2, which feels so bad. But I have to get it off the field. If I don't now, he's just going to block it when I swing. And I'm going to go, I believe this is 11 at his carrot. And he does not want it to die. He knows that that card is a threat for me, being able to freeze any of the bodies I put on the field. So once I start putting them sideways, or if he has a way to rest them, it's just over. Like, he can just rest and keep them tapped down. So he's going to start his turn off with Perona, which is kind of a nasty card to play in here. You can search so many good cards. He's going to search that 8-cost Mihawk, which I don't really like. I saw that last game, and I did not like it, and now I have to see it again. He's going to play the Mihawk, and he's going to use the effect. He's going to restand Fort Dawn, and now he's got just a bunch of stuff. He can do whatever he wants, really. The world is his oyster. I think he's thinking about playing Pudding again. But, oh no, Cavendish. See, that's what he has in his hand. I thought that was Pudding at the top again. He's trying to decide how he wants to swing at me. Because, well, I'm only 7, and he decides not to. He decides just to pass. I don't think he wants to put any of his body sideways, just so that I can't swing into them next turn. Because that carrot is, once I swing with this ace, that carrot's going to lock it down. I will not get to use that ace again for a while. I'm going to search top 5 with the Three Brothers Bond here. Really looking for anything else helpful. I find the Luffy not exactly what I want, but, you know, sometimes you can't win them all. Trying to figure out what I want to do here. Nothing really feels right. I do have the Sabo to play out the Sabo blocker. But again, like, he's just got so many swings that are going to be coming at me next turn. I'm going to use my leader effect. I pitched Luffy, but he called me out. He said I'm cheating. I figured out I wanted to play the Sabo, not the Luffy, so that I could play another Sabo blocker, draw 2 cards, and then pitch. Trying to figure out what I want to pitch here, because I have quite a few good cards in hand, but like I said, this deck takes the think. It takes your brain some thinking power. I end up pitching Luffy, and I believe Punch Luffy, and I'm trying to decide if I want to play that other Luffy out of my life, and I end up doing it just so that I could get another card in hand, become a 11k leader, which is really, really nice. Makes it really hard for him to swing into me, and then I get to KO that Cavendish. I don't want him drawing more cards. I don't want him having another body to swing with. I do get to swing 8 at his leader, so that his Mihawk cannot just free block it. He takes it, and then I swing 13 at his leader, which I believe he is just going to block. No reason to take it. No reason not to take it either. So pass back to him. He's going to draw, and like I said, I feel fine being... I'm an 11k leader with no life. Like, I'm fine. He'd have to have double DMG, and then he can barely even swing at me. So I don't feel like I'm in any kind of pickle or problem here. At least not this turn. You know, the next couple turns, I'm running out of fuel. That's what I've noticed with this deck, is that you run out of gas a lot faster than you did if you had Moria. And without things like Ice Age, I can't get rid of problem cards like that Mihawk. Ice Age or Raigo, just something to help get rid of big bodies like that. It really comes up a lot more than you would ever expect. He is thinking about the DMG here, and he does end up using it. He's going to rest both of my Sabos, and I was like, okay, that's interesting. I wonder what he's going to do with it. He's just going to swing 6 at that yellow one, and he's going to lock my ace. And, well, I don't really want to give him the Sabo, but I end up giving it to him. I don't want to give him all my bodies, though. And I realized quickly that I should not have given him the Sabo, because now he can just lock the other Sabo by doing exactly this. He swings, bounces the Koshiro he just played, and restands the carrot, and then he's going to swing the carrot into the ace, so he can lock the Sabo. And... yeah, he locked down 2 of my bodies this turn, and it's just tough. So now I got to figure out how I can get out of this. He still has like 7, 8 cards in hand, 2 blockers on field. That carrot is really annoying, and I only have basically one swing. So this one is looking more like an uphill battle than the last one was. I think the last one felt like a little bit more of a chance to possibly get out of it somehow, but not this one. I do think that is looking pretty bleak, but we keep trying. You know, we're not going to just give up. We're going to figure out the best way we can to move forward. I am going to use this leader effect. I'm going to pitch the other Sabo I had, and I'm going to play Ace and Sabo so that I can then play Ace to play Ace to play Sabo to play Sabo. That's a bunch of word vomit, and a caveman wouldn't know what we're talking about, but I'm going to get to B9K, and I'm going to get to draw 2 and trash 2. I really am just looking for some more 2Ks, so that's what I end up finding. I have 3 cards in hand, and I believe they're all 2Ks. I really wish I could have used the Zeus here to KO that carrot, at least, but I'd have to take a life, and I don't have a life to take, and I don't have much else to do with my Dawn either, so I'm just going to swing real big at him and pass. He just blocks with that Koshiro. There's no reason to take or let anything die. And he's got Perona. I think he's just going to try and find another DMG. He doesn't find it. He just finds another 2K, which is whatever. But, man, this is a good game. And I thought it would be a lot more one-sided. But looking at the field, I do have 5 bodies. 3 of them are blockers. But the problem is that carrot. You know, he's going to be able to just lock those 2 down still this turn, keep them locked down for a little bit longer, and that's just the unfortunate part of it, is not being able to swing with the bodies I play. He plays this VV. He doesn't get the draw off of it, but he is going to swing 6 into the black blocker Sabo and lock the ace. I decided to give it to him because there's no reason to let it just sit there locked on my field. Like, I can play another body, I can play more Sabos out of my life if I need to, but there's no reason to defend this and get less cards in my hand just so that it stays frozen on the field, because that's what's going to happen anyway. He's going to swing 10 at me, he's going to bounce, and he's going to restand. I give him the 2K, and he passes. So I'm kind of thinking to myself, you know, this is probably my last turn, if I had to guess. So need to really play this effectively and try to go for game. I have potentially 4 swings, maybe 5 if I have a rush ace, but I don't think I do. So I'm going to go big at him. I got 11 for him. He is going to block, and then he's got the freaking Paradise Waterfall, man, plus the Shimotsuki. And then I'm going to swing at him for, I believe, another 11, and he's just got the block with 2 2Ks, and I pass. I didn't really have a way to do anything other than put bodies in my life, so I put 2 in my life just to preserve myself. I have 2 2Ks in hand, and yeah, it's pretty much just simple math here if he has the event, which and you can see in his hand he does. So it's pretty simple math here. He's going to, well, he's going to swing 7 at this ace and lock the other one. I figured he was just going to go straight for game, but oh no, he went 7 at face, and then he locked. He wanted to see if he could get me for the card first, and then he swings 8. I give him 2 2s. He swings 6. Bounce, restand, I take, swing, GG's. Yep, green is not my good matchup, is what I'm starting to learn today. Oh, that's what I needed. I needed this little ace. That's what I was telling him here. So let's go ahead and get moving into the 3rd game, and you'll find out that today was just not my day, and I had to play against a whole lot of green. Alrighty, y'all. Let's go ahead and get into this next game. I'm going to roll a 7. He's going to follow it up with a 10. So I believe that is 2 die roll losses this locals. This is the last game today. And like I said, it is the 3rd green match, and I don't think there could be a worse one. Carrot gets to rest literally any 5 costs on my field, which is my whole fucking deck. So let's just see how this one can go. I don't predict it to be great, but I am confident that new ace can help bring us at least 1 victory today. So let's see if we can do that. We both decide to keep. My hand is pretty good. I have double searcher. First I've seen it in a while, so I'm down for it. Let's go ahead and get the Three Brothers Bond. He didn't do anything on his turn. I chose to go second. And I end up taking that baby Luffy, and then we search again, and I'm going to take a big Luffy. Then I'm going to pass it right back over to him. He's going to think about what he wants to do. Like I said, that leader effect is Scary. Scary, scary against my board. But he's going to swing 6 at me. I'm just going to go ahead and take it. No reason not to. He's going to play 2, and he's going to play out Milky. I don't think I've ever thought I would say that combination of words in a sentence, but here we are, and he passes. Milky, if you don't know what it does, I believe you can rest it to restand an extra Dawn. I'm just going to swing 9 at him. I don't really have a good play. Don't want to waste too many resources. I feel like that's what I did, and in the other games was trying to go fast like you did back in the day with BY. Try to set yourself up really good, but not today. I'm not going to do that right now, and I pass back over to him. He's going to play Zoo, the stage, for 3, which also lets you get an extra Dawn, and I believe at the end of your turn helps you restand one of your Mink type cards. So he's then going to swing at me for 7. I'm going to take it. He's going to use both of those to restand 2, and then he's going to play out Carrot, which is just a blocker, and then at the end of his turn he gets to restand the Milky. So not bad for some extra Dawn usage. You know, I didn't know that all those cards did that, but he has not been playing the game for too long, and he has not played against Black Yellow Luffy before, so I'm just explaining to him what my leader does, and throughout the game you're going to see I explain to him what my cards are doing as well, just so that he knows, because he was just kind of rolling with it at first, but then he finally decided to ask me what my leader does, because I don't think he's seen too many of these cards. So I'm telling him what this Egghead Luffy does. I'm going to KO his Carrot. I'm going to draw a card. Then I'm going to swing 5 at his leader. I just want to get a little bit more cards in hand, get that body off the field, get something in my trash. And he's deciding if he wants to keep or take that 5k, and he's just going to take it. No big deal. Pass it back over to him. And yeah, like I said, this matchup I had a feeling would be a little sticky, and you can see right there in his hand why I thought that might be the case, and it's because of that 5 cost Carrot. You know, it's searchable in this deck. It's Mink type, so you get some extra abilities and protection. It's kind of scary, and I am just looking at my hand. I've got quite a lot of cards. He's going to swing at me for 7. I'm going to take, and that's my 4th Brother's Bond, which feels really good, but kind of crazy. And I end up just taking this baby Luffy. And I believe I have like 10 cards in my hand or something crazy. He's going to go ahead and rest what look like 3. I believe it's 3. And he's going to play Shishilian, which I cannot remember exactly what it does. He's going to use his effects to restand 2 Dawn there. He takes that back. He's only going to restand the 1. And he's going to pass. Wasn't really sure of the reasoning here. I was thinking maybe he had events in hand or something like that, but I can't really remember exactly why he did it. And I can't really tell from his hand here. But I'm going to play Flampe. And I apologize, my camera is starting to seize here. So please bear with me. It does stop doing this here in just a second. I put a timestamp right here just so that you know where you can skip to. I'm explaining to him exactly how my leader works. So I pitched a card, put 2 in my life, and then I played the baby ace and explained to him that all the babies do this same thing. They play the card out of life, which is their respective name. So it played the ace, and then I use the ace effect to play the Luffy from hand, and use the Luffy effect to play the Luffy from life, and I give my leader another boost. And he's like, wow, that seems pretty strong. And I'm going to use the Luffy to KO his Shishilian and draw a card. Now I'm 9k. Thinking about what else I want to do. I have a Garp, so I'm going to top 5 search again, and I'm going to take another ace, which I believe was my only option, but also like a really good one. And I'm just going to swing 13 at him. Really, really big. Nothing, no reason not to. I'm 9k. I'm not really scared of too much here. If he swings at me for everything, I can easily counter out. I have a bunch of 2ks in hand, so I feel good. You know, I wouldn't recommend going down to 0 life like this too often. I always like to try to have 1, but where I got the opportunity to play that ace and the Luffy in the same turn, I just couldn't really resist it. And he's going to use his leader effect to tap down my ace, which, like I said, was going to be a very scary thing just overall with this deck. Just him being able to tap down any of my 5 costs, specifically my blocker Sabo. Just really didn't think it was going to be a good matchup. He plays Mihawk, which we've seen 3 out of 3 games today, just how good of a card this is. So again, like I said, if you don't have this card, you should probably pick it up if you ever want to play a green deck in the future. He's going to tap out the rest of his Dawn to play Carrot, and he's going to freeze my ace. Man. These poor aces have gotten Electrical Luna'd so many times today already. He's going to get to restand 2 of his Dawn using the stage and his Milky, and he's going to spend... Oh, maybe... Yep, he's going to spend 1 of them for Wanda to get a top 5 search. See what he can't find here. And it looks like he only has 1 option, actually. He has to take another Milky, which is a 2k counter. So at least it's not a dead card or a brick. But he's going to use the Zoo to restand his Milky at the end of his turn and pass back to me. I'm at 10 Dawn now, so I can start to do some more fun things. But it really does suck that that ace is locked. I do have a baby ace and a baby Luffy in my trash. I'm going to start with my leader effect, pitching a... I believe Luffy? Nope, Sabo. Sorry. And I'm going to put into my life, I believe, this Sabo and Luffy, so that I can hard play Ace to then play the Sabo, which is exactly what I decided to do here. Yep, 5 Dawn for that Ace. Ace, I'm going to play Sabo from my hand. Feels a little bad, but I get to cycle 2 cards, and I also get to become a 7k leader, which is really good. Now I got to think about what I want to pitch, and I'm going to get rid of this Punch Luffy and this Yellow Sabo. I do think I end up just keeping that Luffy in my life because I don't want to have to be at 0 life again. You know, it's kind of scary when he can just rest my 5 costs. So I'm going to swing 5 with Garp. You know, I got to get the damage in where I can and see if he'll block with that Mihawk. And he decides not to, so then I swing 9, and then he's going to block with the Mihawk and give me a 2. So, yeah, it was definitely wise for him to wait to use the Mihawk to then block and get a 2k. But he is missing his last Dawn there. He has not gotten it out of his Dawn deck yet, but he should be at 10 as well. I believe he actually recognizes this and grabs it here in just a second. He decides to go ahead and tap down my Sabo with his leader effect, which, like I said, is just kind of the scary and tough part about playing against this leader. You know, I don't expect to play against Carrot all the time, but the day I decide to play Black Yellow Luffy, it's just funny that I played 3 green decks in a row that all can rest and lock my stuff. It's so funny. And here we go. Yep, number 2. He's going to play Carrot number 2 and lock down my Sabo. Then he's going to restand 2 Dawn. And, man, he got to play that Carrot for 3 Dawn. And he's going to get to lock down 2 of my bodies. It's just, it's so strong against my leader. It feels bad. He's going to swing 7 into my 7k leader. I am going to give him a 1k. I don't want to give him any more than that. And I also don't want to take it. I don't want to get rid of that Egghead Luffy. Don't really want to get rid of any life. He's thinking about what else he wants to do. Think about exactly how he wants to sequence this turn and attack. This was quite a long game, as you can see from the timestamp. This one goes on for just a little bit. He's going to put 2 on his Carrot, and he's going to swing 8k at my leader, which forces me to give him another 2k. So I'm fine with that. And he is reiterating to lock down my ace. Thinking about what he wants to do with the rest of his Dawn. And I think he ends up just passing here, restanding the Carrot with Zoo, which is, I think, the worst part of all of it. Just because now I can't even swing into it. I cannot KO it in any way. I don't have a way to deal with these Carrots. I don't know what to do. So I use my Flampe and I swing into his Milky for 1. You know, at least get that extra 1 Dawn out of there if I can. And then I'm going to play 2 for the Luffy, get that ace off my field that was locked. And then I'm going to use the Luffy to pop the Wanda and draw a card. Just trying to get some more cards in my hand, get to be a bigger leader. And I'm going to use my leader effect here, pitching away a... Oh, wait, hold on. Yep, Sabo. Get that Sabo out my hand, and then put it right into my life. I also have the ace in life, but I'm thinking if that's the correct order. I'm looking at my life and my trash again, and I do decide that that's exactly how I want it. I am going to use 2 for the ace. I'm going to use the ace effect to bring out the other ace and become a 9k, and then ace is going to let me bring out the Sabo, which is going to let me bring out Sabo for my life, and then I get to become an 11k, which feels really nice. I'm 11k. I don't have any life though, and looking back at this situation, you know, this was kind of risky, but I had a lot of cards in hand, and I believe at this point I was like, okay, I have so many 2Ks in hand. If he rested and decided to go all in, I would still be able to counter out. I decided to swing at him with the Garp again for 5, and then I swing at him for 8 with the ace, and now I am thinking about my leader swing, and I'm going to swing at the Mihawk for 13. He only had 2 cards in hand, and I was like, well, if I can get rid of this now, that'll help me next turn. So, feeling good about it, but man, those carrots are about to put in so much more work and keep my board locked down even more this turn. And like I said, if he taps down my Sabo and puts all on his carrot, swings for 16, I did have enough 2Ks. I just needed 3 to counter out of it. So he's thinking about that. Actually, he told me after this game he's thinking about doing that this turn, just tapping down my Sabo and then swinging everything at my face. And he's looking at my trash, he's counting up my 2Ks, really deciding if that's what he wants to do or not, because it is a viable strategy. You know, I only have so many cards in hand, but I am a big leader, so that's kind of the risk that you're going to run here is, do I have enough 2Ks to stop it? Am I going to be okay? Is he going to be wasting his time? He does decide to tap down the Sabo regardless. There's no reason not to. This lets him swing into my leader, or, well, not my leader, but my other bodies for almost free. And then he has another Mihawk. So he gets to restand for Dawn, establish another big blocker, you know. Not exactly what I wanted to see come out of his hand. I was hoping he didn't have another one of those. He's going to swing into my Garp, get rid of it. You know, definitely not going to defend that. Even though that Garp has put in work, that Garp has gotten 2 5K attacks in the past 2 turns. He's been hitting. He's trying to decide what else he wants to do here, because it's really just attack my characters. You know, if he goes all in for an 11K on my leader, I just have to give him 1. So I think he's just deciding what he wants to attack and how he wants to do it. He's going to attack my Sabo and lock down the other Sabo. I do give him the 1K because, well, I'm not going to just let my body die like that. And now he's deciding, well, do I put the rest of the Dawn on there and swing at it big, or do I just swing at it again for 6K? What do I do? He's going to swing... Oh, wait. Dancing. Make the card dance. He's thinking about a little bit more than 7. All of it. Yep. All of it. I believe that's 11 at Sabo. And lockdown ace. We were talking here. He's like, I meant to keep one Sabo locked and kill the other one. And I was like, you're fine. I got you. I figured that's what you wanted it to do. And he's going to restand his carrot at the end of this turn. And I'm left with just one body. Like, those carrots are crazy against me. But I am in a good position here because he only has 1 card in hand. So if I can leverage this and get some more pressure going here, that's where I'm going to be able to come out on top. And as you can see, I have an ace in my hand. So I am going to go ahead and use my leader ability, stack my life with double Sabo. I'm going to use this ace to play Sabo for my trash again, to play Sabo for my life, and then become a 7K, and then I get to draw 2. And I get to trash 2. I'm getting those cards with no counter out of my hand. And, well, would you believe it? I have all 2Ks. Oops, all 2Ks. Except for another little Sabo baby, which I get to play out and get my frozen Sabo off the field. Draw 2. And I'm going to keep a baby ace in my hand just in case I need it next turn. And now I'm going to start swinging. I'm going to swing 8 into his carrot, which I know that He has to either give me both cards in his hand or his Mihawk. So I'm basically telling him, give me the Mihawk and cards, or give me the carrot, because I'm taking one or the other. And it just depends on if he values that carrot or that Mihawk more. Because, like I said, I'm taking one or the other. He cannot have that big blocker and 2 freezing bodies. He does take quite a bit to think about this, though, because it is a tough decision. You know, is it keep the body or is it keep the blocker? The blocker is a bigger swinger if it needed, but the Mihawk's also a blocker. Like it's I don't know. He ends up countering. He gives me all the cards in his hand, and I swing at it again. He ends up giving it to me, and then I pass. You know, I've got 2 blockers. 1 he can tap down for free. And I have 3 cards in hand, which are 2 2Ks and 1 1K. So I can, at most, counter up to, I believe, 14K. But to be able to swing at me at all, he has to put 1 Dawn on Mihawk, 3 Dawn on Carrot, and 4 on his leader. So that's 7 of his 10 Dawn there. And I can counter out. I can counter out all of that. So I'm not too worried about it. He does end up deciding to put a bunch of Dawn on his Carrot, and he wants to swing 11 at my leader. Again, like I said, I'm not worried about this. I give him 2 and a 1. I didn't want to give up that ace, but I realized, like, I should be able to win next turn. He decides to keep that Sabo frozen. I do think he should have kept one of the aces frozen, but he wanted to keep the Sabo frozen. I asked him again, too. I was like, you sure you wanted the... He was like, yep, the Sabo. And now he's deciding if he wants to swing at the Mihawk or not, because if he swings with the Mihawk, he might be able to kill me. But he ends up playing this Tashigi on the field and restanding a Dawn. And I don't know why he decided to play the Tashigi here. We didn't really talk about it or anything, but he did for whatever reason. I don't know. And then he swings 8 at my ace. I give him the 2K. And he passes. I believe that he thought that the Tashigi would protect his Carrot if I tried to slam into it, but it's not standing anymore. So I swing 5 at his leader. I swing 7 at his leader, which I know he can't counter with 1 card in hand. I'm going to swing 9 at his leader, which I know he cannot counter with 2 cards in hand. And, oh, that's what it is. He thought that, I think he believes that Tashigi protects his blocker from dying, which is not how Tashigi works. And I don't know if I corrected him on it or not right there, but that is not how Tashigi works. But the writing was on the wall there. That was a very close game. Like I said, those Carrots are... I don't know why I got tormented today by my locals all playing green, and specifically 2 Carrots attacking my bodies and freezing me today. But yeah, I guess that's just what I get for playing everybody's most hated deck of earlier this year. So I had a lot of fun with this deck, though. Let's go ahead and jump into the report, and I will give you all my thoughts about it here in just a second.
Alrighty, y'all, that was a fun locals, but for whatever reason, everybody at my locals decided to play green today. I think it was like 4 out of the 8 of us were on green, so there was a lot in the room, and unfortunately, my deck folds to Dead Man's Game, which I didn't really think about. Not many people play green usually, so it was a surprise for me, but I really hope that you enjoyed these games and really hope that you got to enjoy seeing how this deck plays. And let me know if you like this leader, and if you're going to test this deck out, let me know down in the comments below. I'd really love to hear your thoughts. Or if you're playing this already, make sure to jump into my Discord and let me know what your list is looking like. I really want to get my Discord channel up and going again. So if you're looking for a place to talk about the One Piece card game, play the One Piece card game, and share your thoughts, make sure to jump into the link in the description below. And also don't forget to let me know what deck you want to see on the Underdog series moving forward. So what are my final thoughts about Black Yellow Luffy? Well, I still love this leader. Becoming a 9K leader, or even just a 7K leader, which feels a lot more common now, is very, very strong, as we've seen with a lot of decks and a lot of leaders, especially moving forward into OP13. A lot of leaders seem to be getting power boosts to their base power. Now, is this leader even close to how powerful as it was back in the day? No, not even close, not even a smidgen, man. I really do think that if you want to play this deck, just have a good time with it. I don't think you're going to win a whole lot. It does have some good matchups. It does have some great consistency, and it really can be scary at times. You know, it can produce really powerful boards, but with a card like Dead Man's Game running around right now, it's very easy just to lose the game on the spot. Or, as you saw, to get frozen down by Carrot 2 games in a row by double Carrot swings every single turn. I can't express to you how bad that hurt. But all in all, I had a great time with this deck. I'm really excited to experiment with some more leaders in the future. And I think you're going to like the leader I have picked out for next week. Hence, it's another Luffy leader. Let me know if you can guess which one down in the comments below. But with all that being said, I really hope you enjoy this content. If you do, hit it with a like, hit me with that subscribe, hit that bell so you don't miss another episode of the Underdog series. And I will see you all on the next one. Peace.